Hey everyone, I'm Jay.
And I'm Sean.
And we watched a movie.
Of course we did.
So there is a new Netflix documentary, guys, and it's called Blackpink, Light Up the Sky. That's right, I'm trying out my new rose gold hair just for this.
Excellent. That was well coordinated.
Thanks, Sean. So another female director, I'm super glad to see Caroline Suh on this one. And it is, of course, about K-pop's very big and rising star, Blackpink, a girl group. So we can argue about who the biggest K-pop group is. Obviously, BTS deserves a mention. They've broken a lot of barriers, although it was Blackpink who was the first K-pop act at Coachella.
Ooh.
And they were massive within weeks of their coming out. So here is the thing. If you are new to the whole K-pop phenomenon and you want to learn a little bit about it, this documentary will show a little bit about behind the scenes stuff. And I do think it's very interesting. If you are a fan of Blackpink, you're gonna find some stuff in here. I mean, they interview the girls quite a lot. They show like home movies, their audition reels, which embarrass all of them into giggles.
Well, how old are they? Like 6?
Not far from. Practice footage, and of course they follow them on their massive world tour. So there's quite a bit of behind the scenes access, although it is pretty far from all access, as the log lines of this movie guarantee. So I don't know what everyone knows about K-pop. I guess there's very varying.
Yeah.
I've been into K-pop for some time, so I know Sean has heard all of this, because I find it really fascinating. And I find it fascinating all the way back at the point where Korea thought to itself, all we really do is technology stuff, and we don't do it super well. They did it like number 2 well, and they knew that's what they were. They were a solid number 2, but they were never going to be number 1. But everything they did was technology, and so for your whole country's economy to be leaning on one industry is scary.
Risky. It
is risky. So they decided, we will diversify, but there's also a reason why there was only one real industry there. So they didn't have a lot of places to go except into their own people, which was quite revolutionary at the time. But they really, and this is crazy to me, but the government decided, let's invest in the arts, let's turn this around, let's make that our biggest export. And so video games, TV, movies, they pumped and pumped all kinds of money into that. And obviously they just took home the Oscar last year. Bong Joon-ho's Parasite won big. And just sidebar, you may find in theaters now, in select theaters, his old, I think 2003 movie, Memories of Murder, recently remastered. No matter how you get your hands on it, get your hands on it. It's really, really good. Anyways, they've certainly had a lot of great movies coming out of South Korea. They've had lots of video games, TV. Weird markets love their TV shows.
Yes, that's true.
But they have possibly had their absolute most success with music.
I think so. And
my goodness, when you think about art and the creative process, you're probably not thinking about what goes on in Korea.
No.
But the government is real serious about this business. And so they have got corporations whose business is churning out pop stars. So kids as young as 11 audition to get into their training camps. So it is just a special school to train pop stars. And you live there like in a dormitory, you eat there, you never leave. Some people are there for a decade. And they are training them in singing, rapping, dancing. They have to train you in English. They have to get you the look. It is serious business. And they are constantly kicking out those who do not measure up out of the train. And then they have not been to real school in years, and so they're a little bit behind. How will they ever do number 2 technology now? Who knows? But anyways, we are hearing about these 4 girls who are in Blackpink: Jennie, Ji-soo, Lisa, and Rosé. And how, you know, they don't form organically whatsoever. These people in the training camp, and K-pop has recently been boy band heavy, but here's another girl band, so that's great. Sometimes they're mixed, but not that often.
Mixed confuses most people, I think. There aren't many mixed groups anywhere.
I guess that's kind of true. So yeah, YG Entertainment is their big parent company who has been feeding these kids into their factory. And it really is a factory that is churning out these pop stars. And so they have evaluations on a weekly basis where everybody performs individually, and then they are assigned into groups. And so they're just always changing up the groups, trying to find a winning combination. Until finally, these 4 ladies, who were strangers up until the point that they were assigned to work together, because one by one, their own workmates had been gone. It's such a crazy process. A lot of these girls are living very far from their homes, away from their parents, and they're quite young, and they work them very hard. So YG Entertainment, of course, has tight tabs on this documentary.
You're only going to see the good side. The dedication and the hard work, and not the exploitation and the crime. And
the sweat and the bloody toes. And the girls do admit that it was very difficult. So I think that's more honesty than we could have even expected from this thing. It is great to hear from them. We do get to see some of their practice footage. So it's nice to have that little peek, but yeah, this is not a tell-all documentary. It's not exposing deep, dark secrets. It's celebrating Blackpink, our favorite Korean girl.
And that's allowed.
Yes, it is. It's fan service. Everybody wants it. So it may not be all of the nitty-gritty stuff, but we have seen these kinds of documentaries from as far back as New Kids on the Block.
Yeah, or Backstreet Boys, or NSYNC.
All the way around. And they were not exposing the crappy stuff they went through,
the guy that stole their money.
Yeah.
Lou Pearlman.
Lou Pearlman. Those poor kids did not get a pretty penny.
No.
They worked very hard, and they got nothing for it because those record deals were not record deals for them.
No.
And so,
but yes, that was not part of the documentary.
That was not. No,
it just focused on how much fun they were having.
Yes.
How the fans were coming out to their concerts.
Oh goodness! All the teddy bears that would get thrown at them. So yes, that's what this is. It's a lot of fun. We get to know the personalities behind the personas a little bit, right? Because getting churned out of this thing, you have a character that you are playing on stage. This is the person you present. You know, there's always the cute one, the fun one, the studious one, the older one. Every group since the dawning of...
Oh yeah. There's only like 7 different isotopes, and they just mix them around.
Yes. But this is just fun, and you know, it's nice to spend a little more time with them. We don't always get to hear them talk that much. It's not that often that Korea lets them a little bit off leash.
Yeah.
So it is nice to see that. They are still young women. They were almost instantly popular. And that's the thing about having pop star factories, is it does almost guarantee instant success.
If you make it, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Anybody who gets to the end stage,
you're gonna get exposure. You're gonna...
Yes. Well, because they are putting those resources behind it. They are going to promote you. They have already
decided so much money in you.
The personalities they need, the looks they need, the outfits that are going to hit well. So there's a lot of loss of control, and you're not singing your songs. They bring in to the producers for that, the best people for songwriting. And yeah. So it is a weird life. I, in a way, very much admire that Korea has decided to focus on this And they dominated it, and really quickly. So if you turn your focus to this, they have done it well. So well that they are now teaching other countries how to do this, how to diversify your economy, and they really strengthened theirs. In the past, like 10, 15 years, Korea has gone crazy.
In a good way.
In a good way, yeah. Not just catching up, but exceeding.
Yeah.
So good for them. Clearly, they made a good decision in doing that.
Absolutely. Well, they have really shifted the focus, shown that this can be successful, and that is a model for a lot of countries like Korea that don't have much of anything else. They don't have a lot of land. They don't have a lot of resources.
But people are a resource.
Yeah.
So it's good to invest in them.
Yes, it is.
Would I like to see a documentary that really tells us what goes on in these training camps, and are these girls getting paid, and are they allowed to eat? Yeah, I would like to see that. This documentary is not that. It is fan service. So if that is what you are in the market for, if you also want just like an easy gateway, what is K-pop sort of introduction. By the way, K-pop people don't like to be referred to as K-pop. And I kind of get it, because it's really just like Korean music. So everything coming into Korea is now under this umbrella of K-pop. And yet over here, it's just called pop. It's not necessarily defined by what country you're from, but it's pop. So they are K-pop. And Blackpink is so successful, I think they are now almost the definition of K-pop. So. And
maybe that will, if it's not already, be the definition just of pop.
That's right.
They are taking over.
They are, and North America has been so hard to penetrate with foreign language songs. People have been very resistant to that because we like to be able to sing along. Yeah. Of course, K-pop knows that, so they always stick in some English words.
Usually in the rap.
Yes. There's always a rap part, even in Blackpink. There's vocalists, dancers, rappers. Oh boy. It's exciting times. And somebody gets to be the not black-haired one, so that's exciting. I think they often rotate too.
Well, that's the neat thing about hair
the
dye,
boys,
right?
And kind of more so the boys. But yeah, and now they're collaborating, so that's exciting too. They collaborated with Lady Gaga, very recently with Selena Gomez, Ice Cream.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that is another way into the North American market, isn't it?
Yes, very much.
That's like Despacito.
Yes, that's
right.
Get
Justin Bieber on board, and it suddenly is going to take off.
That's right. Sadly, because that song didn't need him.
No, it definitely didn't need
even
him.
without him. But yeah, it's a great way to break it into a North American market. But it's a great way for an American artist to get a bigger global audience. Because guess what? Koreans are a big audience, and a lot of the groups even have one member who is from a foreign country. I think Lisa is from Thailand, so that helps tie in another market. That's right. So it's not just Korea. These groups tend to be quite popular all over Asia, and now all over the world.
And there is a lot of people in Asia.
Yes,
there is a lot of people in Asia.
So it's very, and there's different, like Tokyo Idols, there are different weird pop groups all over the world. It's kind of delightful that for the first time we're really hearing from more overseas markets. And yeah, I think Blackpink is breaking over here. So if this is the first time you hear about them, it won't be the last.
Guaranteed. And there's probably going to be another documentary.
The follow-up, that's right. Blackpinker.
I like it.
Okay. So they are lighting up the sky on Netflix right now if you feel like checking out the documentary. Thanks for watching, everyone. Bye.